Faded newspaper clippings, color snapshots, archived video, and memories of longtime residents are all that remain to remind us today of a brief but nationally significant event that occurred in Addison. In the fall of 1980, Addison was visited by a sitting president. It was during the final month before the 1980 presidential election. The Carter campaign decided to schedule a visit to the predominantly Republican suburb of Addison. At the time, the presidential race between incumbent Jimmy Carter and his Republican challenger Ronald Reagan was deemed too close to call in Illinois. The vote in the Chicago suburbs was considered crucial to Carter's chances for Illinois. State Representative of the 40th District and Speaker of the House, William Redmond, had been trying to get Carter to revisit DuPage County for several years. The home of Hubert Bud Loftus and his wife Margaret in the Friars Cove subdivision was selected as the site of the visit. Loftus was a law partner of Redmond's, a loyal Democrat, and a Carter delegate to the Democratic National Convention, and had previously extended a personal invitation to the president to visit his home. The Loftus family and the Addison Police Department received less than a week's notice of the presidential visit. This was followed by a flurry of activity to submit a guest list for vetting, go over security and logistical details with the Carter Advance Team and Secret Service, and secure the Loftus home and yard, which included dog sniffing for explosives and the installation of a secure telephone line. The presidential visit was set for mid-afternoon on Monday, October 6, 1980. According to the Presidential Daily Diary, Carter flew into O'Hare from an earlier campaign stop in Milwaukee. Upon his arrival, he was greeted by State Representative William A. Redmond and State Representative J. Glenn Schneider, who accompanied him on the short limousine ride to Addison. The motorcade was greeted by what local papers estimated to be thousands of DuPage County residents, displaying American flags and welcome signage. Area schools and Addison Village Hall had closed earlier that day in honor of the visit. Once at the Loftus home, the president was greeted by the family and escorted to the backyard for what was termed as a mini town hall meeting. Carter delivered some brief remarks about some of the issues of the day, including the oil crisis and U.S. and Soviet relations, and warned of his opponent's hawkish stance on foreign relations. Unfortunately, his speech was only heard by the few invited guests, as there was no public address system to project his remarks past the backyard of the Loftus home. This was followed by a short Q&A session from the 50 guests, representing a diverse cross-section of DuPage, both Republican and Democrat, who had been hand-selected by his campaign team. The entire visit, from his arrival to the Loftus home at 3:41 p.m. to his departure at 4:22 p.m. for more campaign stops in Chicago, lasted less than 1 hour. But as former village manager Tony LaRocca later said, Jimmy Carter coming here was a shot in the arm. Unfortunately for Carter, it was not enough for him to carry either DuPage County or the state of Illinois, as Reagan won the presidential election on Tuesday, November 4th, in a landslide victory. This is Susan English for Addison Community Television.